Let us drift softly into the ancient lands of India, where sacred battles were not fought merely with swords, but within the heart and soul. In the quiet of the night, these stories unfold like petals of a lotus, revealing timeless lessons of courage, devotion, and inner peace. Soft winds carry us across golden fields and sacred rivers, where warriors and sages walked in harmony with the divine. We hear not the clash of armies, but the gentle echoes of Dharma, guiding the spirit toward healing and understanding. As we journey together, let the rhythm of these sacred wars soothe your mind, reminding you that even in conflict, the soul can find its calm, its purpose, and its light. If these whispers of the past bring peace to your evening, comment where you're listening from, or subscribe to share in this gentle journey of the soul. Softly, the morning unfolds across the ancient land. The first light of day brushes over the tops of temples, gilding their spires with quiet warmth. A gentle breeze moves through the trees, carrying the faint scent of incense and soft earth. Somewhere, a river hums its endless song, threading through the valley like a silver ribbon. You float upon this calm, as if the world itself exhales slowly, inviting the spirit to rest. The air is filled with stillness, the kind that drifts between each heartbeat. Here, at the edge of waking and dreaming, the spirit meets the concept of Dharma. It is not a sound or a shape, but a subtle rhythm. Dharma is the quiet law of righteousness, the gentle order that flows through all things, through rivers and forests, through birds in flight, and through the hearts of men and women. It is the pulse beneath the visible world, guiding without pushing, holding without grasping. The temples awaken first. Their stone walls, worn by centuries, hum with memory. Small lamps flicker, sending golden circles across carved pillars. The carvings depict heroes and sages, their faces serene even in the midst of battle. Each figure seems to whisper that the path of Dharma is never about the loud clashing of swords, but the soft courage of the heart. Even the stones themselves teach patience. You feel the quiet lessons settle over your shoulders, like a shawl of warm light. Across the valley, the river begins its gentle rise. Morning mist dances above its surface, curling and twisting as though in meditation. The water reflects the first rays of sun, breaking them into liquid gold. It moves slowly without hurry and teaches that even when the world feels heavy, there is a flow that carries all things in harmony. You drift with it, your spirit floating lightly, as though your own troubles have weight only when held tightly. Birds awaken with soft chirping. Their songs are delicate, barely rising above the whispering wind. They move as if carrying messages from the unseen, reminders that every action, every choice flows from the heart's intention. The sparrow does not worry if its song is heard. It sings because it is part of the world's rhythm. You notice how naturally it moves, and you realize that Dharma is like this. It is effortless, yet deeply powerful. In the quiet gardens near the temples, priests and sages walk slowly, their feet barely touching the stones. Their chants are soft, like water trickling through pebbles, and they do not disturb the world. Each word is deliberate and gentle, carrying no urgency, only the weightless strength of devotion. You watch the way their hands move, tracing symbols in the air, each motion a prayer, a meditation, a calm reminder that life itself is sacred. The sun climbs higher, spilling honeyed light over fields and hills. Every leaf glimmers, every petal trembles with dew. You can feel the harmony in this awakening, as though the world itself is breathing in a synchronized rhythm. Dharma is present in each breath, in the quiet balance between night and day, between silence and sound. It is the invisible thread that ties the spirit to the universe. You let yourself be held by it. In this stillness, the concept of sacred duty emerges, not as a command, but as a gentle calling. You sense it in the way the river turns around stones, in the way the wind bends the grass without breaking it, in the way sunlight touches each surface equally. Dharma is not forceful. It is the wisdom that all things move in their place, and each being has a path that is theirs alone. To follow Dharma is to move softly with the world, to honor each moment as it comes. Across the valley, a lone temple bell rings. Its sound carries like a soft drumbeat vibrating through the morning air. The note is steady, unwavering, reminding the spirit that time flows, but it flows with meaning. The bell is a signal, a gentle guidance that invites reflection. You imagine your thoughts settling with each toll, floating away like petals on the river. Every toll whispers, "There is order, there is purpose, there is peace." Beyond the temples, warriors once prepared for the sacred wars. But here, in this early light, you see them not with weapons, but with calm hearts. Their bows and swords rest, but their spirits are alert, ready to act with courage and fairness. Even before the first battle, Dharma has touched them. It is the inner strength that teaches restraint, the wisdom that balances action with compassion. You drift closer, feeling the soft glow of their resolve. It is not pride or anger, only the gentle flame of responsibility. And yet, even as duty calls, the world remains soft. The soil beneath their feet is cool with morning dew. The wind dances through their hair and birds circle high above, tracing invisible patterns across the sky. It is as if the earth itself teaches that even in duty, there is room for rest, for observation, for peace. You float with them, breathing in the calm, letting it fill every corner of your mind. A deer steps quietly from the forest, pausing by the river's edge. Its eyes are wide and gentle, reflecting the light of the sun. It drinks without fear, moving with trust in the world's rhythm. Dharma is in this moment, the quiet courage to exist, to act without harming, to honor life as it comes. You feel a wave of softness pass through you, a realization that righteousness is not loud or dramatic, but a tender, enduring presence. Near the temple steps, flowers unfold slowly, petal by petal. The lotus rises from the water, pristine and untouched by the mud below. It is a symbol of purity and balance, of beauty that grows through challenge yet remains unharmed. You let your mind linger on the image, breathing with the gentle rise and fall of petals. The spirit understands that Dharma, like the lotus, grows quietly, rising above turmoil without disturbance. As morning deepens, the chants from the temple grow slightly stronger but never harsh. Their rhythm flows like the river, carrying a soft energy that touches every stone, every leaf, every soul present. You feel your heartbeat slowing to match the cadence, each beat a reminder that you are part of this unfolding harmony. Every sound, every sight, every small movement is a lesson, a meditation, a lullaby for the spirit. Soft clouds drift across the sky, shading and revealing the sun in gentle succession. Their movement is slow, unhurried, a reminder that time itself is not to be feared. Even the mighty battles of the past were contained within moments, and within them the eternal law of Dharma remained unchanged. You float above these clouds, weightless, as though your concerns dissolve into the quiet vastness. The river continues its endless song, carrying petals, leaves, and whispers along its way. You imagine each ripple as a story, a memory, a lesson, moving forward without pause, without strain. Dharma flows like this, gentle but unstoppable. You let your mind follow the water, letting it guide you into a softer, calmer space. Even the wind has a voice now, whispering through trees, caressing faces, carrying the faint fragrance of jasmine and sandalwood. It speaks of patience, of balance, of the peace that comes when one aligns with the world rather than against it. You breathe in the wind, feeling it move through your spirit, quieting each thought, softening each worry, letting the soul rest. As the morning reaches fullness, the valley glows with a gentle radiance. Temples, rivers, forests, and creatures all move together in a harmonious rhythm. You sense that even the sacred wars, the battles that shaped the stories of heroes, began here, with the simple, tender recognition of Dharma. It is the quiet law that guides without forcing, that nurtures without claiming, that heals without rushing. Now the light grows warmer, golden, like a soft blanket over the earth. The river glimmers. The birds rise higher. The temple lamps flicker, now reflecting the sun's glow. You feel the spirit of this dawn settle within you, a calm understanding that you are part of the eternal rhythm, part of the quiet unfolding of the world. Let us drift onward, carried by the river, by the wind, by the soft light of morning. Let each breath move slowly, as if it has all the time in the world. And now rest as the stars return to memory and the spirit floats gently toward peace, guided always by the tender dawn of Dharma. Soft winds drift across the plains of Kurukshetra, carrying with them the faint fragrance of earth and distant flowers. Morning light spills gently over the horizon, painting the fields in muted golds and soft greens. You float above the land, feeling the subtle pulse of life beneath the surface. The air itself seems to hum a quiet welcome, as if it knows your spirit has arrived to listen, to rest, and to learn. In this vast expanse, the earth is still, yet alive with quiet movement. Grasses sway softly, bending to the rhythm of a breeze that whispers through the open space. Tiny streams reflect the sunlight, shimmering like threads of silver weaving through the plains. You drift with the current of the wind, feeling your thoughts loosen, as though they are leaves caught in a gentle river. Here, long ago, the call of destiny stirred in the hearts of those who were to walk the path of sacred duty. Warriors stood at the edge of the horizon, not with tension or fear, but with a quiet understanding that they were part of something larger than themselves. Their eyes were calm, their breaths even, and their hearts carried a soft light that mirrored the rising sun. You sense the stillness that surrounds them, the silent preparation that precedes action. The air is filled with small sounds. The rustle of cloth, the distant cry of a bird, the soft clatter of armor moved with care. Nothing disturbs the harmony here. Each sound is a note in a quiet song, a gentle melody that guides the spirit to notice without demanding attention. You float closer to the figures, feeling the warmth of their presence, the subtle energy of readiness that is steady, patient, and serene. At the center of the field, a small cluster of tents rises like quiet islands. The fabric flutters softly in the wind, and smoke curls upward from tiny hearths, carrying the scent of incense and simmering herbs. Within these tents, the warriors prepare not only their weapons, but their minds. They sit in meditation, their eyes closed, listening to the rhythm of their own breath. The world is vast, yet inside each being is a sanctuary of calm. You drift beside them, inhaling the stillness and letting it fill your spirit. Above, the sky is wide and endless, painted in pale blues and soft pinks. Clouds float lazily, their edges glowing in the first light. A gentle bird arcs across the heavens, its wings steady, its path unhurried. The bird seems to carry messages of reassurance, as though the sky itself reminds all who watch that there is order in the unfolding of events. The spirit learns from this flight, recognizing that each movement, each step, is part of a larger design that does not demand rush or strain. Among the warriors, the elders walk slowly, their sandals brushing against the soft earth. They carry no weapons, only wisdom, and the calm radiates from them like sunlight. When they speak, their voices are quiet, soft as distant drums, measured and steady. Their words are not commands, but gentle reminders that courage is born in stillness, that strength grows from patience, that duty is a path walked with care, not force. You feel the resonance of these words, letting them settle over your thoughts like a soft blanket. The river at the edge of the plains flows quietly, its water catching the first rays of the sun. The warriors pause to touch its cool surface, letting the smooth stones and flowing water remind them of the continuity of life. The river does not hurry, and neither must they. Its rhythm teaches that preparation is not only in the hands and arms, but in the mind and heart. You drift along its edge, letting the water's calm guide your own spirit to stillness. In this space, even the smallest details hold meaning. A leaf falls and turns slowly in the air. A bee hums softly near a flower. The sun warms the skin gently, never harshly. Each moment is a lesson in presence, a soft invitation to notice without expectation. You feel your own awareness expand, moving with the rhythm of the plains, noticing the light, the air, the gentle heartbeat of the earth beneath you. Some warriors gather near a tent where a small lamp flickers, sending shadows across the ground. They trace symbols in the air, silent gestures that connect them to their inner strength. Each movement is deliberate, a soft ritual that prepares the mind for action without urgency. You watch as the candlelight dances on their faces, revealing serenity even amidst the quiet anticipation of duty. As the sun climbs, distant drums sound faint and rhythmic. The vibrations move through the soil, through the grass, and through the hearts of those who listen. These drums do not demand attention. They guide, they steady, they call the spirit inward. You let the sound ripple through your chest, feeling it loosen tension, soften thoughts, and invite deeper calm. Above the tents, kites drift lazily, their colorful shapes moving gently with the wind. They trace slow arcs across the sky, a reminder that freedom exists even in purpose, that joy can be found in the smallest movements. The warriors watch them briefly, smiles soft and fleeting, their hearts lightened by the simple beauty. You float alongside them, letting your own mind take pleasure in the gentle arcs, the soft colors, and the freedom of quiet observation. At the far edge of the plains, wildflowers nod in the breeze, their petals delicate and luminous in the morning light. Butterflies flit between them, fragile wings barely touching the air. You sense that Dharma is present here too, in these small creatures and their careful, unhurried movements. Duty and calm coexist naturally, a quiet balance that sustains life. The spirit notices, absorbs, and drifts further into peace. Some warriors move to practice their art, bows drawn slowly, arrows placed with care. But the motions are soft, almost meditative. Each pull of the string, each release is measured and aware. There is no haste, no tension, only the understanding that true strength flows from inner calm. You feel your own body relax with each movement, your breath matching the gentle rhythm of preparation. As the day continues, the light grows warmer, softening every edge. Shadows lengthen and shift across the plains, moving like gentle waves. The earth feels alive yet untroubled, as if it too participates in the sacred preparation. Every sound, every motion, every small interaction carries a lesson. That peace and duty are not opposed, but intertwined, that readiness is quiet, and that strength is gentle. Near the river, a deer lifts its head, eyes bright and alert, yet calm. It steps lightly, trusting the rhythm of the earth, trusting the world to move in harmony. You watch the deer, noticing the subtle grace in each step. Dharma moves like this too, steady, delicate, and mindful. It asks nothing more than attention and care, flowing through each being without hurry or force. Clouds drift slowly across the sky, their shapes shifting and reshaping in endless dance. A soft wind carries their movement down to the plains, brushing the skin and lifting the hair in tender waves. The warriors pause to feel the wind, letting it remind them that the world is vast, patient, and ever-present. You let the wind touch your spirit, smoothing rough thoughts, settling restlessness, and inviting quiet awareness. As the light reaches its gentle peak, the plains of Kurukshetra hum with an unseen energy. Not loud or imposing, but steady, pervasive, and calm. It is the quiet force of destiny, of Dharma, of preparation. You float above it, feeling it move through the grass, the river, the tents, and into your own chest. Each heartbeat becomes a soft echo of this rhythm, steady, gentle, and endless. Now, as the sun bathes the plains in a warm, golden glow, the spirit of Kurukshetra settles in the heart. The warriors stand, the wind moves, the river flows, and all things hold their place in quiet harmony. You feel the soft assurance that preparation is complete, not in noise or haste, but in stillness, in awareness, in gentle alignment with the unfolding of the day. Let us drift onward across these plains, carried by wind, sunlight, and the murmuring river. Let each breath move slowly, each thought soften like the petals of a lotus unfolding. And now rest as the distant drums fade and the spirit floats quietly, cradled in the calm of the sacred plains of Kurukshetra. Night drifts slowly across the plains, and the stars begin to glimmer, soft and distant, like lanterns hung in the vast dark. The world is quiet now, yet alive with a gentle pulse. A pale moon casts silver light across the fields, touching temples and rivers with a calm, reflective glow. You float above this serene land, noticing how the shadows bend and stretch, moving slowly with the hush of the evening. Across the plains, soft lights glimmer from the distant encampments. The chariots of heroes rest, their wheels nestled into the earth, their polished surfaces reflecting starlight. Even in stillness, there is purpose in their presence, as though they are waiting for something beyond the eye, something unseen yet deeply known. You drift closer, feeling the soft vibration of intention, the quiet readiness that exists when the heart aligns with duty. A gentle wind stirs, rustling the fabric of the tents and brushing through the grass. It carries the scent of sandalwood and distant incense, folding into the air like a soft caress. You feel this wind move through your own chest, easing tension, slowing breath, and inviting a deeper stillness. In this calm, the chariots do not appear as mere machines, but as symbols of guidance, carrying the hopes and prayers of those who ride them, moving with the flow of destiny rather than against it. The warriors who prepare beside them are quiet, their movements deliberate and unhurried. Hands rest lightly on reins, bows are adjusted softly, and horses shift their weight without panic. The field seems alive, yet undisturbed, as though every element, the earth, the sky, the chariots, the living beings, is part of a silent symphony. You drift within this harmony, letting your thoughts melt like morning dew into the gentle rhythm of the world. Above, the stars shimmer like memories in the sky. Some are steady, some pulse faintly, and you notice how the light travels, touching the earth, the warriors, and the chariots with a quiet grace. It is as if the heavens themselves offer guidance, a gentle presence that reassures the spirit. You feel the calm strength of this light, sensing that even in moments of uncertainty, there is a hand unseen, steadying the course of all things. A soft drum echoes from the far horizon, distant but steady. Its beat is not urgent, not commanding, but rhythmic, like the slow in and out of a deep breath. It carries the presence of ritual, of intention, of continuity, reminding the spirit that each step, each movement, each pause is a part of a larger, gentle order. You let this beat synchronize with your own, feeling it ease the mind and settle the heart. Within the tents, sages move slowly, their hands tracing patterns in the air, symbols of protection and guidance. Each gesture is light, deliberate, and rhythmic. You notice the calm on their faces, the serenity that comes from deep alignment with the divine. There is no haste here, only the quiet patience of one who knows that guidance is not shouted, but whispered softly, often through subtle signs and gentle nudges. The chariots are brushed and polished, yet not with pride, only with care. Wheels glide over soft ground, the leather straps rest smoothly, and the horses nuzzle their riders lightly. Every element is tended to with awareness, and every movement carries a silent teaching. That readiness begins with mindfulness, that peace grows from attention, that strength is tender as well as firm. You float with these gentle preparations, feeling your own spirit reflect the careful calm. The river at the edge of the field moves like a silver ribbon beneath the moonlight. Its surface is quiet, yet ever flowing, carrying leaves, petals, and small ripples downstream. You sense that the chariots, though massive and imposing in form, move in a similar rhythm. They follow the path of the universe, guided by forces both seen and unseen. And in this alignment, they carry not only warriors, but the subtle energy of Dharma itself. You drift alongside this river, feeling the current move through your own being. Horses shift their weight, ears flicking softly, and the wind carries their breath across the field. There is a subtle intelligence in their movements, a silent dialogue with the riders who guide them. Each step is measured, each pause deliberate, and you notice how calmness and awareness coexist here. Even in preparation for battle, there is space for quiet reflection, space for listening to the inner voice, space for the spirit to acknowledge guidance beyond the self. Above, the constellations form patterns that mirror the motions below. Orion stretches his bow, a quiet echo of the heroes preparing in the plains. The Pleiades cluster gently, like small hands pointing the way, reminding all who see them that there is a map in the stars, a silent guidance for those willing to watch. You let your gaze linger, your thoughts slowing, your heart open to the soft reassurance that the universe moves in gentle order. Near the edge of the camp, a small lamp flickers in the dark, casting elongated shadows across the ground. The shadows move softly, folding and stretching with the flame's rhythm. You feel the lesson here. Light need not be loud to guide. A soft flame can illuminate the path, and gentle presence can steady the heart. The spirit senses that guidance is often quiet, revealed in small gestures, subtle signs, or fleeting moments of clarity. A bird glides silently across the field, wings wide and steady, its shadow skimming the grass. It pauses for a moment in the night air, then continues onward, following currents invisible to the eye. You feel the bird as a messenger, a spirit guide reminding all who watch that even in uncertainty, direction exists. There is no rush, no noise, no alarm, only the soft, constant movement toward what must be, guided by wisdom deeper than thought. Soft incense curls upward from the tents, mingling with the cool night air. Its scent is sweet and grounding, carrying a quiet energy that touches all who breathe it. The smoke twists and floats, weaving between the chariots, the horses, and the warriors. You sense the invisible hand of the divine moving through each particle, each breath, each step. Even in the stillness before action, there is presence, there is care, there is reassurance that nothing is separate from the calm flow of the universe. The drumbeat continues softly, distant but steady, harmonizing with the whisper of wind and the gentle murmur of the river. The chariots, though silent now, seem to hum with potential energy, poised like gentle waves waiting to move. Each element, the land, the sky, the warriors, the animals, the air, breathes in unison. You float in this rhythm, letting it settle into your chest, into your mind, into every corner of awareness. A warrior touches the reins of a horse, feeling the warmth and life beneath their fingers. He breathes deeply, eyes closed, and the world seems to soften around him. The chariot beneath him is not just wood and metal. It is a vessel, a quiet companion, a support for mind, body, and spirit. You sense the same truth in yourself, that strength is not always loud and guidance does not always speak. Sometimes it simply waits, soft and steady, inviting the spirit to trust. The moon climbs higher, bathing the plains in a gentle, silvery glow. Shadows stretch longer, yet the night remains calm, holding everything in a soft embrace. The stars, the rivers, the tents, the chariots, and the figures upon them all exist in harmony, moving with the quiet certainty that guidance is present, even when unseen. You drift in this harmony, letting the gentle energy fill every thought, every breath, every heartbeat. Now the chariots rest beneath the stars, the warriors are steady in their meditation, and the night carries the weight of unseen wisdom. Every element whispers assurance, reminding the spirit that even in the presence of duty or challenge, there is always gentle guidance, always calm support, always a hand unseen but felt. Let us drift onward with the chariots, carried by the night air, the silvered moon, and the soft rhythm of the stars above. Let each breath move slowly, each thought soften, each heartbeat quiet. And now rest as the divine presence returns to the memory, cradling the spirit in calm, steady light, ready to guide through all the days and nights to come. Twilight settles softly over the plains, and a silver haze drifts across the horizon. The sun has kissed the earth goodnight, leaving a gentle glow that lingers on temples, rivers, and fields alike. You float above this quiet world, feeling the warmth of the fading light and the cool touch of evening air. The breeze is soft, carrying the scent of jasmine and earth, moving through the grasses as though it is whispering a lullaby to every living being. On the field below, Arjuna sits upon his chariot. His bow rests across his lap, untouched for a moment. The horses breathe slowly, their movements calm and steady. The world around him is hushed, yet alive, carrying the faint rhythm of distant drums and the murmurs of the wind. Even the air seems to pause, waiting with him, cradling his thoughts gently. As if it knows the heart can only speak in its own time. Arjuna's mind drifts softly, like a leaf floating on a river. Questions rise quietly, not with urgency, but as gentle ripples. Can he fulfill his duty? Can he act with righteousness? The weight of responsibility is heavy, yet the world seems to breathe with him, offering quiet reassurance that these thoughts, like clouds, will pass in their own time. You drift with him, feeling each doubt and uncertainty dissolve into the stillness of the evening. The chariot moves slowly beneath the sky, guided by soft winds and the gentle hands of those who serve. Stars begin to peek through the twilight, their light delicate and calm. Each star feels like a memory, a whisper of courage from countless souls who walked the path before. Arjuna looks to the heavens, and you sense the gentle pull of reassurance that comes not from words, but from the quiet presence of the universe itself. Krishna sits beside him, a soft presence in the cool night. His gaze is steady, calm, and unwavering. He does not speak loudly, nor does he push. His words, when they come, fall like petals on still water. Each one touches the surface of Arjuna's heart without disturbance, guiding him gently toward clarity, toward understanding, toward the quiet flame of courage that already burns within. The plains are hushed, yet alive with subtle sound. A small stream ripples nearby, carrying the reflection of starlight across smooth stones. The soft murmur of the water reminds the heart that life flows onward, even when the mind feels uncertain. Arjuna breathes with the rhythm of the stream, each inhale a slow wave, each exhale a gentle release. You drift alongside him, letting your own thoughts soften into the calm current of the world. The chariot wheels press lightly against the earth, moving without haste. Shadows stretch across the field, long and tender, wrapping the world in soft folds of silver and gray. Arjuna's hands rest lightly on his bow, and you notice the way his breath aligns with the quiet rhythm of the night. Doubts remain, but they are no longer heavy. They are simply part of the landscape, like mist curling over distant hills. Krishna speaks softly, and the words carry a gentle warmth. The heart that seeks truth moves with care. Action does not require force, but awareness. Each phrase drifts into the air like incense smoke, curling slowly, touching every corner of thought without rushing. You sense that courage is not a shout or a rush, but a quiet acceptance of purpose, a soft unfolding of trust in the rhythm of Dharma. The horses shift their weight, their breaths forming small clouds in the evening air. The wind carries these breaths across the field, blending with the soft rustle of leaves. Arjuna's thoughts rise and fall like gentle waves on a quiet shore. Fear is present, yet not overwhelming. Uncertainty lingers, yet it is met with patience. You float alongside him, feeling each thought dissolve softly into the calm of night. Above, the stars grow brighter, scattered across the sky like silver petals. Their light touches the chariot, the field, and the river, tracing delicate patterns on every surface. You notice how the universe seems to respond to stillness, reflecting quiet courage back into the heart of those who are ready to receive it. Arjuna feels it too, the subtle nudge of guidance, gentle and reassuring, reminding him that he is not alone in the path he must walk. The moon rises slowly, spilling silver across the landscape. Its light touches the temples and the trees, the grass and the river, and the quiet face of Arjuna. Even the shadows seem soft, moving like gentle fingers across the field. The night itself becomes a teacher, showing that clarity is found not in struggle, but in stillness, not in force, but in attention, not in noise, but in quiet awareness. Krishna's hand rests lightly on the chariot, a presence felt more than seen. Words are few, yet each carries the weight of infinite patience. Action is born from understanding. Courage is born from trust. Let the heart move with what is just, without clinging, without rush. You feel these words settle gently in your chest, softening tension, easing the mind, cradling the spirit like a soft shawl of light. The stream ripples quietly, carrying petals and leaves downstream. The chariot rolls slowly beside it, its wheels brushing against the soft earth. Arjuna's hands relax on the bow. His breathing aligns with the rhythm of the river, and the stars above seem to pulse with a tender light. You drift with him, carried by the gentle movements of the world, feeling the calm expand into every corner of awareness. The wind lifts small particles of earth and dust, twirling them slowly into the air. They glitter faintly in the moonlight, a quiet reminder that even the smallest things carry light. Arjuna watches, and in the silent dance of dust and air, the heart learns that even in uncertainty there is beauty, there is rhythm, there is soft guidance. You notice the same truth for your own spirit. Trust is quiet, courage is gentle, and clarity comes like dawn breaking slowly across the plains. The night deepens and all movement grows slower. The horses lower their heads, the river glides uninterrupted, and the stars continue their quiet shimmer. Arjuna rests his mind within this soft rhythm, feeling doubts ease, questions soften, and courage rise gently, like a flame protected by calm winds. You drift alongside him, letting the slow cadence of night guide you deeper into relaxation, into stillness, into soft peace. The chariot stops near a quiet grove where trees sway lightly in the breeze, leaves brush together with delicate sound like whispers of wisdom. Arjuna closes his eyes for a moment, letting the gentle guidance of Krishna and the universe settle fully into his heart. You float above, feeling the harmony, sensing the balance between duty and stillness, courage and patience, action and trust. A soft owl calls from a distant tree, and the note echoes across the plains. Its voice is calm, steady, and patient. You feel it as a gentle reminder that wisdom and guidance often come softly, and that even in moments of hesitation, the spirit can find its path. Arjuna breathes with the rhythm of the night, each inhalation bringing awareness, each exhalation releasing tension. The stars above stretch across the sky, their light reflecting in the river and the eyes of the horses. Every element, the wind, the earth, the river, the trees, the stars, moves together in quiet harmony. Arjuna senses it, and so does your spirit. That guidance is always present, gentle and reassuring, even when it is subtle and unseen. Now, as the night deepens fully, the chariot rests, the horses are calm, and Arjuna's heart feels the soft strength of understanding. Let us drift onward, carried by the quiet rhythm of the plains, the gentle shimmer of the stars, and the tender guidance of the universe. Let each breath soften, each thought settle, each heartbeat quiet. And now rest as the stars return to memory, cradling the spirit in calm, gentle light, ready for the dawn to come. Night drifts gently over the plains, soft and calm, carrying the scent of earth and distant flowers. The air is cool, touched lightly by the evening breeze. Stars begin to glimmer above, their silver light stretching across the vast sky, delicate and serene. You float quietly above the battlefield, yet there is no fear here, only stillness, soft as a whispered promise. Arjuna sits upon his chariot, bow resting lightly in his lap. His eyes are closed, not in sleep, but in quiet contemplation. The horses breathe slowly beneath him, their movements calm, their presence steady. The world seems to hold its breath alongside him, the gentle wind moving through the grass like a lullaby, touching each leaf, each stone, each ripple of the river with tender care. Beside him, Krishna leans softly, a figure of calm light in the moon's silver glow. His gaze is gentle, steady, full of quiet understanding. He does not push, does not hurry. His presence itself is a reassurance, a soft current of guidance that flows into the heart of Arjuna, whispering without sound, teaching without force. You drift alongside this energy, feeling the quiet wisdom settle softly into your own spirit. The battlefield, though vast, is quiet now. Shadows stretch across the plains, long and tender, folding the earth into a gentle embrace. The chariots rest lightly on the soil, their wheels aligned with the rhythm of the land. Each movement of Arjuna's breath mirrors the subtle pulses of the world, the flow of the river, the sway of the grass, the distant hum of life beneath the stars. The night itself feels alive with patient guidance, moving silently yet deeply. Krishna's voice reaches him softly, words floating like petals in the cool air. The soul is eternal, he says, unchanging, unbound, untouched by the fleeting moment. Your duty is to act with awareness, not attachment. Let the heart move gently and the mind follow with clarity. Each phrase settles like warm sunlight on chilled stone, warming, steadying, and softening the tension of doubt. You feel the same calm touch ripple through your own chest, releasing worry, easing thought, and inviting serenity. The river at the edge of the field glimmers under the moonlight, silver and still, reflecting the stars above. Its gentle movement reminds the spirit of life's continuity, of the soft unfolding of time. You drift alongside this flow, noticing the subtle energy of guidance that moves like the current, unseen yet present, steadying every motion, guiding every step. Arjuna's mind aligns with the rhythm, each thought dissolving into the quiet clarity that Krishna offers. The horses shift softly beneath the chariot, their breaths forming faint clouds in the night air. Arjuna places his hands lightly on the reins, feeling the gentle weight of responsibility, the tender pull of choice. Krishna's presence calms the pull, like a wind smoothing the surface of water, showing that duty does not need to strain the heart, that action without attachment carries its own quiet peace. You sense this truth too, letting it spread slowly through your own spirit. Above, the stars pulse faintly, like memories of courage scattered across the sky. Some are steady, some shimmer lightly, and all reflect softly in the river below. You notice how the universe itself seems to speak in whispers, teaching that guidance often comes not in loud commands, but in gentle, persistent light. Arjuna breathes with the rhythm of this quiet teaching, feeling each inhalation steady his body, each exhalation release doubt. Krishna's words continue, soft as the night wind. Perform your duties, Arjuna, without clinging. Let the results unfold as they must, and find your peace in the act itself. Detachment is not emptiness, it is clarity. It is seeing the path with a heart that is steady, calm, and open. The gentle cadence of these words flows like a river, carrying both comfort and understanding. You drift in their sound, letting each phrase ripple through your consciousness, softening all corners of thought. The chariot moves slightly with the horse's breaths, wheels brushing lightly against the soil. Even in preparation for action, there is no hurry, no harshness, only the soft awareness that each motion is part of a larger harmony. The plains are alive with subtle movement. Grass sways, leaves rustle, and the river ripples, all in quiet conversation with the night. Arjuna feels the unity of these rhythms, and you drift with him, each inhale carrying the calm of the world, each exhale letting tension flow away. A faint owl calls from a distant tree, and its sound folds into the night like a gentle echo. Krishna's hand rests lightly on Arjuna's shoulder, a presence felt more than seen. The touch carries reassurance, reminding the heart that guidance is always present, soft and patient, never demanding, never harsh. The mind can relax into this quiet assurance, letting wisdom seep in like moonlight across a still lake. The stars trace slow arcs across the sky, silver threads weaving stories that the heart can feel, though the mind cannot fully name them. They reflect softly in Arjuna's eyes, in the river, in the polished chariot, and even in the gentle shimmer of the grass. Each spark of light is a reminder that the divine moves in gentle patterns, guiding each soul without force, whispering quietly into the spaces between thoughts. You sense this presence, letting it fill your own awareness with calm. The wind moves again, brushing softly against the chariot and the horses. Petals from distant flowers drift in its path, spinning lightly before settling on the earth. Even in the smallest of movements, there is guidance, care, and rhythm. Arjuna watches the delicate dance, and the heart learns the same lesson, that surrender is not surrendering to weakness, but to the quiet strength that comes from trusting in the flow of Dharma. The moon climbs higher, spilling silver over the plains and reflecting in the river's gentle curves. Krishna's voice continues softly. The soul does not end, Arjuna. Fear not the moment nor the outcome. Step lightly, act with presence, and let the universe carry what is beyond your hands. Each phrase settles into the mind, a soft hand smoothing rough edges, calming turbulent thoughts, and opening a space for gentle courage. You float with this rhythm, letting the words dissolve into your chest, into your breath, into your awareness. Arjuna breathes with the rhythm of the night, the horses, and the river, each motion aligning with the gentle guidance flowing from Krishna. Even in the midst of uncertainty, there is peace. Even in the anticipation of action, there is stillness. You feel the soft light of understanding settle into your heart, a quiet assurance that clarity and courage are present when approached with patience, trust, and gentle awareness. The chariot stands beneath the starlit sky, quiet and still, and the warriors in the distance pause to listen to the night. The world itself seems to exhale softly, carrying calm across the plains, through the river, over the tents, and into the hearts of all who are ready to receive it. You float in this exhalation, feeling the weight of tension lift, leaving only the soft light of serene guidance. Now, as the night deepens fully and the stars shimmer like gentle beacons in the sky, Krishna's whisper settles into the heart as a quiet, steady presence. Let us drift onward with this calm, carried by the moonlight, the river, and the gentle rhythm of breath. Let each thought soften, each heartbeat quiet, each exhale release worry. And now rest as the stars return to memory, cradling the spirit in serenity and light. The sun sinks slowly behind distant hills, spilling a gentle amber light across the plains. Shadows stretch softly over the fields, brushing the chariots and the tents with quiet touch. The air is warm yet tender, carrying the faint scent of sandalwood and earth. You float above the scene, noticing how the world seems to slow with the evening, how every movement becomes deliberate and soft, like a careful breath. The warriors who earlier prepared for battle now rest. Their bows lie beside them, their chariots stand still, and the horses breathe with a steady calm. Even the wind seems to hush itself, curling around tents and campfires as if to honor the quiet within each heart. You drift alongside them, feeling the gentle rhythm of their slowing breaths, the soft pulse of stillness stretching across the plains. A distant temple bell chimes, soft and lingering. The sound ripples across the night air, folding gently into the minds of all who hear it. Its echo carries the steady rhythm of devotion, reminding the spirit that even amidst preparation for action, there is space for calm. Arrows, swords, and shields rest quietly on the earth, like companions waiting, while the warriors turn inward to touch the softer flame within. They close their eyes, and in that silence, the world becomes a river of light and breath. Soft chants arise, the gentle recitation of the Vedas, each syllable flowing like a warm wind over the soul. The words are not commands, not hurried instructions, but waves of resonance, touching each heart softly, coaxing doubt and tension to melt. You notice how each chant folds into the night, weaving between stars, rivers, and trees, creating a luminous thread of calm. The grass sways with the rhythm of their breath, the leaves tremble lightly, and the river nearby murmurs as it carries silver reflections downstream. Each element seems to join the meditation, participating in the harmony of stillness. Arjuna sits among them, his eyes closed, his face softened by the quiet focus of prayer and chant. You float beside him, letting the gentle energy of inner listening wash over your own thoughts, letting each inhale bring calm and each exhale release worry. A fire flickers in a distant camp, sending a warm glow across the earth. Its light touches the faces of the warriors, softening features, highlighting the ease of relaxation. Even the horses, standing quietly near their chariots, seem to exhale with the calm around them. You notice that in this moment there is no haste, no fear, only the tender rhythm of presence and awareness. The chants rise and fall, like waves on a quiet shore. Each phrase resonates with the unseen spaces of the heart, filling them gently with understanding and ease. The warriors' minds wander softly through the verses, not grasping or forcing meaning, but allowing the sound to carry them into stillness. You drift with this flow, each note of the chant a soft brush against your own awareness, inviting peace to settle like dew on leaves. The sky deepens into twilight, stars emerging like delicate lanterns in the cool air. Moonlight washes over the chariots, over the warriors, over the earth itself, tracing silver paths on stone and water. Each beam feels like a gentle hand, guiding thoughts to slow, softening tension, illuminating the inner world with calm assurance. Arjuna's breath aligns with the rhythm of moonlight and chant, each inhalation filling him with presence, each exhalation releasing doubt and fear. A small breeze stirs, lifting petals from nearby trees, carrying them slowly across the field. They drift through the night air, spinning softly before settling on the earth. You feel the symbolism of their journey. Even in stillness, life moves gently, guided by invisible currents. The warriors sense it too, their minds following the soft guidance of breath, sound, and movement, connecting the outer world to the inner calm. The Vedic chants continue, now blending with the distant rhythm of drums, soft and deliberate. They echo through the camp, touching the ears, the hearts, and the spirit, reminding all that meditation is not only stillness, but connection. It is the bridge between mind and soul, between preparation and purpose, between duty and serenity. You drift with the cadence, feeling the pulse of quiet energy spread through your chest and settle across your body. Horses shift slightly, their hooves brushing the ground without haste. A warrior stretches his fingers, then folds them back into meditation. There is no urgency, no tension, only the gentle understanding that the present moment holds all that is needed. You float alongside them, breathing with the rhythm of the night, the fire, the river, and the soft hum of chant, each element weaving together into a tapestry of calm. A temple bell tolls again, soft and lingering like a whisper to the soul. Its sound travels over the plains, over the river, over the chariots, merging with the chants and the wind. Each echo settles gently on the heart, reminding that peace is always present, even amidst duty, even amidst preparation for action. Arjuna's eyes remain closed, and his heart beats with a quiet assurance, feeling the subtle guidance of divine presence in every breath. The moon climbs higher, and the silver light spreads across the warriors' faces. Shadows shrink and soften, folding into the gentle curves of the landscape. The river's surface glimmers in response, small ripples carrying reflections of stars and light across the flowing water. You drift with these reflections, letting them wash over your mind, smoothing edges, releasing tension, inviting a deep, restorative calm. A bird glides silently above, wings wide and slow. Its shadow touches the earth for a moment, then lifts again, floating gently through the air. It is a messenger of patience, of awareness, of the quiet power of stillness. The warriors sense it too, feeling that inner calm is not absence of action, but presence of attentive, tender awareness. You float with this realization, letting your own heart absorb the gentle lesson. The fire flickers once more, sending warmth across the sleeping grass. Its glow mingles with moonlight, with stars, with the soft chants, creating a luminous cocoon around each resting warrior. Arjuna breathes slowly, fully present, letting each word of the Vedas guide him, letting each sound, each light, each ripple of wind settle him more deeply. You drift alongside, your own body softening, your mind slowing, your spirit quieting into gentle surrender. The night deepens fully, and all sounds become soft, rhythmic, and tender. The river glides past, the wind hums through leaves, the horses breathe quietly. The world itself seems to join in meditation, each element aligned with the calm within. You notice how inner peace does not fight chaos. It simply exists, as steady as the moon, as gentle as the river, as enduring as the night. Krishna's presence is felt softly in every corner of this quiet field. The divine flow, ever gentle, touches hearts without forcing them, guiding thoughts like a soft wind across calm waters. Arjuna feels the weight of preparation and the lightness of surrender at the same time, understanding that meditation is not only stillness, but the harmony between heart, mind, and world. You float within this harmony, letting every breath, every thought, every sensation align with serenity. Now, as the chants fade into silence and the stars shimmer fully overhead, the warriors rest deeply, their hearts cradled by calm awareness. The chariots remain steady, the horses breathe slowly, and the river carries the reflections of the night softly onward. Let us drift onward with this gentle rhythm, carried by the moonlight, the quiet earth, and the tender flow of breath. Let each thought soften, each heartbeat quiet, each exhale release worry. And now rest, as the stars return to memory, cradling the spirit in calm, tender light. Twilight drifts softly across the plains, painting the sky with shades of deep violet and silver. The last warmth of the sun slips behind distant hills, leaving behind a gentle hush. You float quietly above the battlefield, yet there is no clamor here, only the tender rhythm of fading light and soft wind brushing the earth. Stars begin to awaken, one by one, their gentle shimmer like the soft pulse of memory, reflecting the eternal balance of light and shadow. The warriors stand or kneel, their armor catching the last glimmers of sun, now turning to silver beneath the moonlight. The swords and bows that seemed so heavy now rest calmly, their presence less about fear, more about purpose. Shadows stretch across the plain, long and slow, wrapping around tents and trees, reminding the heart that every form, every moment holds a balance. You drift alongside this quiet awareness, feeling the soft pulse of harmony in every detail. Krishna moves lightly among them, his presence serene, a gentle hand in the shifting patterns of light. His gaze is steady, calm as the evening river, reflecting both sun and moon. You notice how even amidst tension, there is a rhythm that embraces the soul, a dance of dualities, soft as a whispered lullaby. Arjuna's eyes follow the subtle movements, sensing that within conflict, there is also teaching, and within shadow, the light waits patiently to return. The wind stirs the grass, weaving silver threads across the plains. Each blade bends and sways, catching moonlight in quiet arcs. The battlefield itself seems alive, as if breathing gently, holding space for reflection. You float with the motion, noticing how even struggle is part of the natural order, a mirror of the inner world where light and shadow mingle and dance together. A distant drum beats softly, slow and measured like a heartbeat beneath the stars. Its rhythm carries no urgency, only a gentle reminder of presence, of the calm that exists when one watches without tension. The warriors sway with this quiet pulse, feeling it in their bodies, in their breath, in the tender space between thought and movement. You drift alongside, letting the steady beat echo softly in your own chest, releasing worry, opening space for serenity. The river that winds through the plains glimmers in the moonlight, a flowing mirror of the sky. Each ripple reflects stars, soft and trembling like memories of courage and patience. Arjuna watches the movement, sensing that the water, like life, moves through patterns of shadow and light. Even when ripples distort the reflection, the moon above remains steady, gentle, and constant. You float with this vision, letting it calm your mind, reminding yourself that presence holds steady amidst change. Shadows lengthen across the tents, folding and bending with the gentle motion of the earth. Each shadow seems to whisper a story of restraint, of understanding, of patience. Light touches them at the edges, soft and forgiving, like a hand tracing the curves of stone. You notice how balance is maintained not by forcing either side, but by allowing both to exist, to move, and to shape the world together. Arjuna feels the lesson softly in his heart, a quiet recognition that courage and reflection are partners, each guiding the other with tenderness. Krishna's voice drifts through the night, soft as the wind over the river. Even in moments of struggle, he whispers, the soul is never alone. Light and shadow are not enemies but companions. To see one is to understand the other. To embrace both is to find calm amidst all things. The words fall gently upon the warriors' hearts, sinking slowly, carrying the quiet wisdom that even the most turbulent paths are part of the eternal rhythm. You drift in their resonance, letting them settle in your own chest like soft moonlight. A hawk glides silently overhead, wings spread wide, shadow touching earth briefly before lifting again. It is a messenger of observation, of awareness, of the quiet patience that sees all without haste. The warriors sense it too, feeling that their inner calm is reflected in the outer world. Even amidst preparation for battle, stillness is possible, and the dance of light and shadow continues without conflict, without hurry. You drift with this understanding, letting your breath align with the rhythm of the night. The stars shimmer more brightly as the sky deepens into velvet night. Some appear in clusters, others scattered like gentle sparks of memory. Their light falls softly across faces, arms, and armor, turning metal into silver and shadow into soft blue. Each flicker reminds the soul that illumination is always present, even in darkness, that reflection and quiet observation reveal truths without effort. Arjuna closes his eyes for a moment, sensing the balance of the world within his own chest. The gentle river moves past, silvering the stones it touches. Moonlight follows each ripple, gliding effortlessly along its path. The wind hums through the trees, and the grass bends lightly as though bowing to a quiet ceremony of presence. Each detail teaches softly that even in places where tension seems to rule, the natural world flows with grace, offering lessons in rhythm, patience, and calm. You drift alongside, letting every sound and motion settle your mind into quiet harmony. The warriors' breaths grow slower, more deliberate. The subtle rise and fall of their chests matches the pulse of river and wind. Even the shadows seem to breathe, curling and stretching in time with the earth. Arjuna feels the unity of all these movements, sensing that the battlefield is not only a place of challenge, but also of reflection, where the interplay of courage, duty, and presence teaches the soul to move gently through life. You float with him, each inhale bringing serenity, each exhale releasing tension. A soft owl calls from a distant tree, its voice folding into the night like a gentle echo. Its sound merges with the river, the wind, and the subtle drumbeat, creating a symphony of quiet guidance. Krishna's hand rests lightly on Arjuna's shoulder, a silent reassurance, showing that divine presence is always near, even when the eye cannot see it. You feel this same gentle presence within yourself, as if a soft current of calm flows through your heart, guiding you into deeper ease. The moon climbs higher, casting silver light over all it touches. Shadows shift and settle, finding balance beneath its glow. Stars trace their arcs above, constant and patient, reminding all that cycles continue, and that inner harmony is part of these eternal rhythms. Arjuna's heart beats with quiet understanding, and you float with him, each breath a reminder of the soft pulse of life, the tender dance of light and shadow that exists within and without. The wind curls through the plains, lifting petals from distant flowers and carrying them across the soft earth. They drift slowly, touching the grass, then rising again, weaving a gentle pattern through the night air. You sense the quiet lesson, that life is both movement and stillness, both shadow and light, and that peace emerges naturally when one flows with this gentle rhythm. The warriors inhale, exhale, and become one with the tender pulse of the evening. Now, as the stars shimmer fully, and the moonlight drapes the earth in soft silver, the battlefield rests. Chariots and horses breathe in quiet alignment, tents fold into shadows, and the river carries gentle reflections onward. Let us drift onward with this calm rhythm, carried by moonlight, river, and whispering wind. Let each thought soften, each heartbeat quiet, each exhale release worry. And now rest as the stars return to memory, cradling the spirit in gentle, eternal light. The evening spreads softly over the plains, a tender veil of deepening blue and silver. The sun has long slipped behind distant hills, leaving only the gentle glow of moonlight and the first stars of night. You float quietly above the camp, feeling how the world exhales in soft rhythm, how every shadow and every light bends gently over the earth. The air is cool, carrying the delicate scent of sandalwood and soft grass, touching the senses like a whispered lullaby. The warriors move slowly among their tents, not with haste, but with the deliberate calm of presence. Their swords and shields rest at their sides, unneeded for this moment, for now their focus turns inward. You watch them close their eyes, folding hands in soft prayer or laying lightly on their knees, and you drift with them into the quiet space where courage and calm meet. A distant temple bell chimes softly, its sound carrying across the plains. Each note is a wave, gentle and luminous, touching the hearts of the warriors with warmth and reassurance. It reminds them that protection begins within, that the steel they wear is less powerful than the peace cultivated in the mind, and the devotion nurtured in the heart. You float with this truth, feeling it settle softly in your own chest, a quiet comfort spreading through every breath. The wind stirs the grass, lifting it lightly and letting it sway as if bowing to the rhythm of night. Shadows deepen and soften, wrapping themselves around the edges of the camp in gentle folds. The moon rises higher, casting silver light on faces and arms, illuminating not only forms, but also the invisible currents of presence that surround each soul. You sense that every shadow, every glimmer, is part of a dance between strength and surrender, a rhythm of inner resilience that is quietly unbroken. Krishna moves among the resting warriors, his footsteps as light as wind over still water. His gaze is serene, radiating calm, as if the night itself bends to follow his presence. He whispers softly to Arjuna and to all who listen, true armor is not worn on the body but felt in the heart. Mindfulness, devotion, and steady breath will protect you more than any sword. The words settle gently, a soft current flowing through every mind, filling the quiet spaces between thought and feeling. The warriors close their eyes more fully, allowing each syllable of sacred chant to wash over them. The Vedas rise and fall in melodic waves, threading between tents, chariots, and rivers. You float with the sound, feeling it resonate like soft bells in the chest, soothing tension and weaving a delicate shield of calm. The chants are neither loud nor commanding. They simply exist, gentle as moonlight guiding each spirit toward the center of its own strength. Even the horses, tethered nearby, breathe in rhythm with the camp. Their soft exhalations mix with the wind and the murmuring river, creating a symphony of stillness. You notice that all living things here, great and small, participate in this quiet meditation. Each blade of grass, each ripple of water, each whisper of air contributes to the subtle weaving of armor that begins inside the heart, unseen yet steady. Arjuna folds his hands and bows his head, feeling the gentle embrace of calm envelop him. Thoughts of doubt and fear drift like clouds, softening as they move. Krishna's presence is steady, a reminder that guidance is gentle and persistent, not forceful. You drift alongside Arjuna, letting the soft rhythm of his breath and the soft chant of the Vedas calm every corner of your mind, every tension in your body. The stars above shimmer in quiet arcs, mirrored in the flowing river below. Each reflection seems to dance slowly, like tiny lanterns moving with the water's current. The warriors' minds follow this rhythm, sensing that true resilience is not rigid, but flexible, able to bend with life's currents while remaining strong at its center. You float with this understanding, letting your own awareness fold gently into soft stillness. A soft drumbeat begins far off, measured and slow. It merges with the wind, the river, and the gentle chants, forming a gentle cadence that moves through the camp. Each heartbeat of the drum feels like a pulse of protection, reinforcing the invisible armor of mindfulness being woven within each soul. You sense that courage is not loud or brash. It is quiet, steady, and rooted in awareness. The moonlight drapes the battlefield in a gentle silver glow. Shadows curl around the warriors, embracing rather than hiding them, forming a delicate balance of night and light. Arjuna breathes in rhythm with the world around him, each inhale filling him with calm, each exhale releasing doubt. You drift with him, each breath a soft brush of serenity across your mind. Each moment a reminder that inner preparation is as essential as any outward defense. Petals from nearby flowers lift and drift in the gentle breeze, spinning slowly across the camp before settling lightly on grass and tents. Their movement mirrors the calm flow of meditation, showing that even small, fleeting moments contribute to strength. The warriors sense the lesson. Protection begins in mindfulness, devotion, and patience, growing quietly from the soul like roots in soft earth. You feel the same truth, letting the pedal, slow dance guide your thoughts into gentle stillness. Krishna's voice floats across the camp again, softer than a sigh. Carry peace as your shield, courage as your companion, and faith as your unseen sword. In this, no storm or struggle can reach you. The words ripple through the night, touching every resting heart with tender reassurance. Arjuna smiles faintly, eyes still closed, understanding that preparation is more than armor or weapon. It is the serene cultivation of presence within. The river flows quietly, silvered by moonlight, carrying reflections of stars and shadow. You watch the gentle motion, seeing how even in movement, stillness is possible. The Vedic chants continue softly, threading through the night like gentle threads of light, guiding thoughts and hearts into calm. The warriors' breaths become slow, synchronized with the rhythm of the world, their inner armor forming of patience, awareness, and devotion. A small owl calls from a nearby tree, its voice folding into the soft night air. The sound is gentle, observant, and tender, a reminder that watching without tension is a form of protection. You notice how the presence of stillness and gentle awareness offers a steadiness that no steel can match. The warriors feel it too, their hearts rising and settling with the cadence of breath, chant, and moonlight. The fire flickers softly in a distant tent, sending warmth across the grass. Its glow mingles with shadows and starlight, creating a cocoon of gentle safety around each resting warrior. Arjuna senses the subtle lesson. True armor is invisible yet steadfast, formed from meditation, devotion, and mindfulness. You float with this thought, letting it rest over your own heart, soft and reassuring, like a gentle hand upon your shoulder. Now, as the stars shine fully and the moonlight bathes the earth in silver, the camp settles into deep quiet. The river carries the night onward, the wind hums softly through the trees, and the warriors rest with hearts shielded by awareness. Let us drift onward with this gentle rhythm, carried by breath, light, and soft chant. Let each thought soften, each heartbeat quiet, each exhale release tension. And now rest as the stars return to memory, cradling the spirit in calm, tender light. Night spreads softly over the plains, brushing everything with deep indigo and silver light. The stars shimmer gently above, mirrored in the quiet river that winds through the battlefield like a ribbon of liquid moonlight. You float above this gentle flow, feeling the slow rhythm of water and wind, sensing the quiet pulse of life itself. Every ripple on the surface carries a story, every reflection a soft memory of choices made and paths taken. The warriors move quietly, resting near the banks, their armor folded and weapons set aside. Each one breathes in the calm night air, sensing the soft guidance of something greater than themselves. You drift alongside them, feeling how the river's movement mirrors the flow of their hearts. Just as water moves over stones, smoothing rough edges, so too does the current of karma carry every action gently forward, teaching without force. Krishna stands by the river, calm and luminous beneath the moonlight. His presence is like a soft current in the air, steady and unwavering. He watches the water flow, and with a quiet voice that merges with the rustling leaves, he whispers, "Every choice, every moment creates ripples unseen." The heart that moves with awareness and care is like a river that nourishes, rather than erodes. You feel these words as a gentle tide in your chest, softening tension, bringing ease. The river moves slowly, silvering stones and petals alike, winding around bends and under fallen branches. Its flow is gentle, persistent, and inevitable. You notice how it carries fallen leaves, twigs, and blossoms alike, accepting all without judgment. Karma, like this river, moves quietly through life, guiding, shaping, and teaching. The warriors sense this, allowing their thoughts to follow the soft, flowing current rather than resisting it. A gentle breeze lifts the scent of jasmine and damp earth, curling around the resting figures. It brushes lightly over their faces, over the soft folds of their robes, reminding them of the natural order that embraces all things. The river reflects the moon and stars, shimmering with each subtle movement, showing that even in moments of stillness, the flow of life continues. You drift with this rhythm, letting each inhale carry calm, each exhale release worry. Arjuna dips his fingers into the water, feeling its coolness, sensing its movement against the stones. He sees how the river bends without breaking, how it moves with both strength and gentleness. Krishna kneels beside him, letting silence fill the space between words. You float with them, sensing the unspoken truth, that the flow of karma is neither punishment nor reward, but a gentle guide, always moving, always teaching, always present. The stars shimmer above, each one reflecting softly in the moving water below. Shadows stretch and curl along the banks, joining the moonlight in a dance of soft contrasts. Every movement seems deliberate, slow, and unhurried. You notice how even the tiniest ripple or flicker of light carries meaning, how every action in the lives of the warriors, and in your own life, adds to the quiet tapestry of existence. The river's song is soft and continuous, a murmuring lullaby of motion. Tiny fish glide beneath the surface, petals float gently on top, and water insects leave fleeting trails behind. Everything participates in the flow, everything moves with the gentle rhythm of cause and effect. The warriors sense this, allowing each heartbeat and breath to align with the eternal current, knowing that their thoughts, words, and deeds are part of a larger, flowing pattern. Krishna's presence remains near, a steady touch in the quiet. He gestures softly toward the river, showing how it bends around obstacles without anger, without haste. You watch as Arjuna closes his eyes and breathes deeply, imagining each choice in life like a pebble dropped into the river. Each stone sends ripples outward, gentle, extending beyond sight, touching all in subtle, quiet ways. You drift with this visualization, letting the idea of gentle ripple guide your own thoughts into calm reflection. The wind stirs the leaves of nearby trees, and soft shadows sway across the riverbank. Each rustle carries a quiet message, that the smallest gestures matter, that even unseen kindness and care flows outward in ways that may never be measured. The warriors feel this truth, and so do you. Calmness grows within, like water filling a vessel, steady and inevitable, bringing reassurance and ease with every passing moment. Moonlight drapes the earth in silver, outlining each stone, blade of grass, and ripple in the water. You notice how the river embraces all shapes and forms, reflecting each one without bias. Karma, like this flowing water, holds all actions with impartial grace, teaching the heart to move without clinging, to act with care, and to release attachment to outcome. You drift with this understanding, letting it settle softly in the spaces between your thoughts. A distant owl calls, a soft echo that mingles with the gentle murmur of water. The warriors listen, not with tension, but with awareness. The night feels alive with small, tender guides, each sound a reminder of the quiet wisdom that accompanies every step. You float alongside this awareness, noticing how even in stillness, movement exists. Even in rest, lessons flow steadily onward. The river curves beneath a small bridge, its surface smooth and calm. You sense how patience and persistence allow obstacles to be met without struggle. Each ripple touches stones. Each flow finds its path. The warriors sit near the water, feeling the gentle energy of the current moving through them, teaching that resilience and understanding are found not in force, but in awareness and steady presence. Arjuna dips his hand again into the flowing water, watching the ripples expand outward. He imagines the consequences of thought and action, each choice sending gentle waves into the world. Krishna's soft voice blends with the rustle of the leaves, reminding him that inner peace and mindfulness shape the flow, like stones placed carefully in a stream. You drift with this vision, letting your own breath become the gentle current, each exhale smoothing tension, each inhale filling space with calm. The river carries moonlight, stars, petals, and leaves onward, moving silently, steadily, without effort. It flows over bends, beneath roots, and around obstacles, teaching through movement rather than command. The warriors sense this lesson, letting their thoughts and hearts mirror the river's gentle persistence. You float with them, feeling a soft, comforting steadiness settle into your mind, a reminder that all choices carry their own gentle guidance if met with awareness. Soft firelight flickers in distant tents, reflecting on water and grass. Shadows and light mingle as if in conversation, forming patterns that drift slowly across the riverbank. The night deepens, yet there is no fear, only calm observation, gentle reflection, and the quiet understanding that each ripple in life carries both lesson and serenity. The warriors rest fully, their minds aligned with the rhythm of water, stars, and wind. Now, as the river flows endlessly beneath silver moonlight and the stars shimmer like scattered lanterns, let your own thoughts drift with it. Let each choice you have made, each action taken, flow gently forward, settling softly into the current of calm. Let each breath synchronize with the rhythm of the river, the soft rustle of leaves, and the distant owl's call. Let us drift onward in quiet understanding, carried by the soft flow of karma, where each ripple teaches patience, presence, and peace. Now rest as the stars return to memory, and the gentle river cradles the spirit in tender, eternal light. The morning light filters softly through a sky brushed with the pale gold of dawn. Dust swirls gently across the battlefield, a quiet veil that softens the edges of armor and earth. In the midst of this vast plain, temples rise like gentle islands, serene and steadfast. Their stone walls glimmer faintly, warmed by the first rays of the sun. You drift closer, feeling the quiet strength that radiates from these sacred spaces, a calm counterpoint to the distant murmur of warriors and wind. The air carries the faint scent of incense, mingling with the warmth of the earth and the coolness of early dew. Each temple stands as a quiet guardian, holding centuries of devotion in its quiet stone and carved pillars. Birds circle above, their wings tracing slow arcs across the sky, as if paying homage to the sanctity below. You float among them, sensing how stillness and devotion persist even where chaos touches the ground. Soft bells chime somewhere within the temple walls, ringing with a gentle clarity that moves through the dust and air alike. Each note carries a small wave of peace, flowing outward, touching every soldier and traveler, every leaf and stone. Inside, flickering lamps cast gentle shadows across carvings of gods and sages, their faces serene and knowing. You feel drawn into this quiet rhythm, a rhythm older than conflict, older than memory. The warriors pause near the temple, setting aside shields and swords, letting their eyes rest on the calm sanctuary. A gentle wind lifts prayer flags and folds of cloth, causing them to ripple like water. You drift closer and notice the soft, whispered prayers of those seeking guidance. Each sound blends with the distant murmur of the battlefield, forming a quiet, protective layer around hearts and spirits. Within the temple courtyard, a small fountain trickles water over smooth stones. The sound is delicate, like the breath of the earth itself, and it carries a sense of continuity. Warriors and seekers alike gather near the water, washing their hands or letting droplets fall on their foreheads. The ritual is simple yet profound, a gentle reminder of the sacred thread that runs through life, through action, and through every heartbeat. You sense the flowing peace, letting it weave through your own awareness like a soft, comforting shawl. The carvings on the temple walls tell stories of sages, of gods, and of men who followed paths of duty and devotion. Their eyes, though stone, seem to watch tenderly, inviting reflection. You float along the corridors, feeling the warmth of sunlight spilling through open doors and windows. The light moves across floor and wall, illuminating dust motes like stars caught in a slow dance. Here, even the smallest particle becomes part of the sacred, part of the quiet teaching that pervades every stone and shadow. A gentle drum sounds from somewhere deeper within the temple, its slow, measured beat echoing softly against the walls. It is not urgent, not forceful, only a heartbeat in rhythm with the earth itself. You feel the vibration move through the floor, through your chest, aligning each inhale and exhale with the timeless cadence of devotion. Here, in the midst of the battlefields beyond, stillness holds a tender authority. The temple does not command, it whispers, and all who listen find ease. Outside, the wind lifts swirls of dust, carrying the scent of dry earth and wildflowers. The temples stand firm, untouched by turbulence, their corners softened by age, their stones warmed by sun and shadow alike. You notice small offerings left by travelers, petals, grains of rice, tiny bowls of water. Each gesture carries silent devotion, a soft acknowledgement of the sacred amid the ordinary, the eternal within the temporary. The warriors sit in quiet reflection, their minds lifted above immediate strife. Some close their eyes, feeling the gentle pulse of chants carried through the air. Others trace the carvings or touch the smooth pillars, connecting with the hands of artisans who came long before, who shaped devotion into form and stone. You drift among them, absorbing the gentle lessons. That sacredness can exist anywhere, that devotion can bloom even amidst dust and shadows. A lone flute begins to play, its melody soft and fluid, echoing faintly across the courtyards. The notes mingle with the hum of the wind, with the trickle of water, with the murmur of distant conversations. Each sound invites the heart to slow. Each phrase draws attention inward, toward reflection and peace. You feel yourself floating with the music, each breath guided by the gentle flow of sound, each heartbeat matched to the calm pulse of this sacred place. The sun rises higher, bathing walls and columns in a warm, golden light. Shadows stretch long and thin across the temple grounds, blending with the dust in soft patterns. Small birds alight on rooftops, pecking gently at scattered grains, their quiet movements a meditation in motion. You notice how life continues here in quiet harmony. Humans, animals, wind, stone, all coexisting within the tender embrace of devotion. Steps echo softly along the stone floors as monks and priests move about, arranging offerings, lighting lamps, and carrying the soft fragrance of incense to every corner. Their movements are deliberate but unhurried, a gentle choreography that mirrors the rhythm of the river, the wind, and the distant pulse of the battlefield. You drift with them, sensing how presence and mindfulness create a shield stronger than armor, a sanctuary stronger than walls. The central sanctum glows faintly, a warm pool of candlelight illuminating the sacred icons within. Soft chants rise and fall, creating a rhythm that is both grounding and expansive. You feel the vibrations moving through your body, through the earth beneath, and out into the wider world. The temple, in its quiet patience, reminds all who enter that calm is always accessible, that devotion is always a hand extended in the dark, and that peace can be found even in the dustiest corners of life. Outside the temple gates, the battlefield stretches, muted by distance and dust. Yet even here, the sanctity of the temples radiates, sending waves of quiet reassurance across the plains. The warriors carry this calm within them, a secret shield formed not of metal or stone, but of mindfulness and remembrance. You drift among them, sensing how the stillness of sacred space can extend outward, touching all in its gentle orbit. As twilight approaches, the sky softens to gentle lavender and indigo. Lamps are lit along the courtyards, and shadows mingle with the remaining light in a tender dance. The air grows cooler, carrying the scents of earth, incense, and night-blooming flowers. You feel yourself drifting, carried by the steady, tender rhythm of temple life, floating with the soft pulse of devotion and presence. A final bell tolls in the deepening evening, its resonance long and calm. Each vibration settles into the heart, a reminder that sacredness is not bound by walls or distance, that devotion is not measured by grandeur but by gentle attention. You feel the calm settle into your mind like a soft blanket, each breath drawing serenity, each exhale releasing tension. Let us drift onward now, carried by the quiet strength of these temples amidst the dust. Let the soft prayers, the flowing water, the flickering lights, and the gentle wind hold the spirit. Rest here, as the stars emerge one by one in the indigo sky, as the sacred spaces whisper their eternal guidance, and as the soul floats in serene devotion, cradled by light, shadow, and the tender persistence of calm. Twilight settles gently across the plains. A soft hush flows over the land, as if the world itself is exhaling. Dust hangs in the cooling air, curling lazily in gentle eddies. Somewhere, a distant drum beats softly, its rhythm steady yet unhurried. You float above the scene, carried by a quiet wind, drawn toward the subtle stirrings of thought and spirit that ripple across the battlefield. Even where swords are laid and armor glints faintly in the last light, the true struggle is not of bodies but of minds. Warriors close their eyes for brief moments, feeling the currents of doubt, fear, and resolve sweep through them. The battlefield becomes a mirror of the soul, each clash of will within reflecting the larger dance outside. Here, in this twilight, the sacred duel begins, not with weapons, but with awareness. Arjuna's mind drifts like a leaf on a gentle stream, moving between certainty and hesitation. Each thought is a soft ripple, each worry a small shadow passing across the water of his consciousness. The wind carries whispers of past victories, past mistakes, and the quiet voice of inner guidance. You drift alongside him, sensing how delicate and tender this inner balance can be. Here, strength is not forceful. It is measured, mindful, and patient. A bird alights on a nearby branch, ruffling its feathers in the soft light. It watches with quiet presence, a small teacher in silence. Its eyes seem to hold the clarity of mountains and rivers, of skies that witness all without judgment. You feel the lesson of still observation, of quiet attention, of letting thoughts pass without clutching them. The sacred duel does not need victory, it needs awareness. The sun dips lower, casting long, soft shadows across tents and pathways. Warriors breathe deeply, feeling the gentle cadence of life within them. The mind, like a restless river, carries anger and hope, fear and courage, memory and anticipation. Yet with each calm breath, each mindful pause, the waters settle. Thoughts are acknowledged, not chased. Emotions are seen, not suppressed. You drift in this gentle rhythm, sensing how internal awareness forms an unseen armor stronger than steel. In a quiet clearing, a sage sits cross-legged beneath a fig tree. His eyes are closed, and yet his presence radiates into the surrounding air like soft light. He is witness to the inner struggles of all who pass nearby. Each warrior, each seeker, each traveler carries a story of doubts and desires, of shadows and light. The sage does not intervene with force, only with the serene reflection of being, teaching that the mind is both battlefield and sanctuary. The air carries soft chants, barely audible yet persistent, flowing through the camps like a slow, soothing river. The vibrations settle into hearts, into the spaces between thought and feeling. Even in moments of tension, the chants remind each soul of a gentle truth, that anger and fear may rise, but they do not need to claim dominion. You feel your own breath soften as the cadence of voice and wind merge, guiding you into quiet reflection. Arjuna opens his eyes slowly, watching the distant horizon. The dust swirls gently, and in the motion of the world he finds parallels within. Every hesitation, every rising worry is like a leaf carried on the current, yet he learns that he can watch the leaf without sinking into it. Awareness is his ally, patience his shield. Each thought examined, each emotion acknowledged, becomes part of a sacred duel where wisdom moves gracefully against chaos. A faint breeze lifts petals from nearby flowers, carrying them lightly over the soft grass. They fall, drifting, swirling, never forced, never hurried. You feel the metaphor of life and mind. That gentle observation allows the natural movement of thoughts, letting each seed of emotion or doubt settle into understanding rather than turmoil. The sacred duel is not fought with harshness, but with tender vigilance, with calm presence. The sound of flowing water reaches your ears, a small stream that winds unseen through the plain. Each ripple carries a lesson. That movement is natural, that resistance creates unrest, and that yielding can be strength. Arjuna's gaze follows the stream, and he understands that surrender here is not weakness. Surrender is trust in the rhythm of life, trust that each thought and feeling, each rise of anger or fear, is temporary and part of the broader current. The battlefield grows quieter as evening deepens. Shadows stretch long and soft across the tents and pathways. Warriors sit in meditation, eyes closed, hands resting gently on knees, backs aligned with patience. They feel the ebb and flow of inner currents, tracing each rise and fall without judgment. You drift among them, sensing the tender balance of mind against mind, of shadow against light. In this twilight, a soft chant begins anew, carried on the wind, gentle yet persistent. The vibration moves through the heart and chest, through every cell, bringing calm and cohesion. Even in the midst of potential conflict, the mind can find stillness, can become an island untouched by the rush of battle. The sacred duel, you realize, is not fought with outward movement, but with inward clarity, with gentle attention and compassionate presence. Arjuna breathes deeply, feeling the subtle shifts within. Doubts remain, but they no longer weigh heavily. Each thought is a cloud passing across the sky of his mind, each worry a leaf on the river of awareness. He notices the quiet power of letting go, of allowing, of watching with soft focus. Even fear can be a teacher, showing where attention is needed, and even anger can be a guide, revealing the depth of patience yet untapped. The stars begin to appear above, tiny points of light in a deepening indigo sky. They reflect softly on the river, on the dust, on the edges of tents and shields. You feel their gentle rhythm, the slow pulse of the universe echoing within the minds of all who watch. The sacred duel becomes a meditation in motion, a dance of awareness and reflection, of wisdom and compassion. Each breath aligns with this rhythm. Each heartbeat softens into serenity. The sage under the fig tree rises slowly, stretching limbs with quiet grace. His presence is a subtle affirmation of calm vigilance. He moves among the meditating warriors, offering only a quiet nod or a soft glance, never words of force. Presence itself becomes the teaching. You drift with him, sensing how mindfulness shapes courage, how awareness tempers impulsivity, and how compassion can be a shield stronger than any armor. The wind rises gently, lifting a few remaining petals and carrying the soft scent of flowers across the plain. The air is cool and tender, inviting reflection and rest. You feel the sacred duel within the mind soften into a gentle river of understanding, each wave carrying insight without urgency, each ripple a reminder of presence and care. Awareness becomes a gentle companion, a friend that never leaves, a quiet guide through both shadow and light. Finally, the night deepens fully, and the stars shimmer with serene constancy. The battlefield rests in a soft hush, and the minds of warriors echo that stillness. Even in the heart of conflict, even amidst the dust and the distant echoes of tension, peace can be found. The sacred duel is not ended. It flows continuously, like a river, like the wind, like the quiet pulse of life itself. Let us drift onward now, carried by this gentle understanding. Let the mind rest in the awareness of its own sacred duel, held tenderly by patience, softened by reflection, and cradled in the light of eternal calm. Now rest, as the stars return one by one, and as the sacred currents of mind and spirit settle softly into the quiet night. The morning rises slowly over the plains. Mist drifts across the grass, soft and delicate, curling gently around tents and trees. The air carries the faint scent of earth and dew, a subtle reminder of life renewing itself even amidst preparation for battle. You float through this quiet scene, sensing the gentle rhythm of hearts and minds aligned in intention. Arjuna stands beneath a tree whose branches sway softly in the wind. The bow rests lightly in his hand, a companion and a mirror. Its curve reflects the tension and release within him, the delicate balance of fear and faith. You notice how he breathes slowly, letting each inhalation and exhalation carry both presence and patience. Each breath softens the mind, each pause steadies the spirit. The sky above deepens into a pale gold, the first light catching on the edges of his armor, yet it does not shine harshly. It filters softly, like the gentle touch of understanding upon the heart. Even the distant drums, muted by distance, feel like a heartbeat shared with the earth itself. You drift closer, feeling how focus and surrender intertwine, as if the bow itself responds to the stillness within. A small bird lands on a branch nearby, chirping once before it settles into silence. Its presence is quiet yet profound. It watches without judgment, observing the rhythms of the warrior below. The bow is not merely wood and string. It is an extension of attention, an instrument of alignment between mind and action. You sense the truth that stillness is not absence but presence, calm within motion, clarity within tension. Arjuna's fingers trace the curve of the bowstring. It is taut, waiting, patient, yet alive with potential. You feel how each muscle, each thought, each heartbeat mirrors this tension. The world outside may stir, the wind may ruffle the grass, the banners may flutter softly, yet inside there is a current of unwavering focus. Here, the sacred teaching unfolds. That surrender does not come from letting go of responsibility, but from trusting the flow of awareness itself. The river nearby murmurs softly over stones, carrying reflections of sky and shadow. Arjuna glances toward it, and the water seems to whisper a quiet lesson. That strength is not rigid, that effort is tempered by gentleness. Each ripple mirrors a thought, each bend a moment of reflection. You float with him, sensing how mindfulness shapes the aim, how patience steadies the hand, how surrender calms the pulse. A gentle breeze brushes across the plains, lifting the edges of cloth and banners. It flows over the bowstring, over the quiver of arrows, over the calm face of the warrior. The breeze does not rush, does not press. It moves in harmony with life itself. You notice how Arjuna's eyes soften, how his focus widens to include the world without clinging, without resistance. Each glance, each breath, each heartbeat is part of a quiet choreography of calm and alertness. He lifts the bow slowly, drawing it without haste, feeling the tension settle into rhythm with his body. The world around him remains quiet, yet vibrant with subtle sounds, the rustle of leaves, the soft footfalls of companions, the distant cry of a bird returning to nest. These are not distractions, but threads in the tapestry of attention. You drift alongside him, aware of how presence and patience weave together, like light through water, like wind across the plains. The arrow rests lightly against the string. Arjuna's mind hovers between action and stillness. Thoughts drift through him like clouds across the sky, doubt, hope, courage, fear. Yet none take hold. They pass, observed and acknowledged. Awareness itself becomes the bow, the string, the arrow. You sense how each moment of focus is both surrender and strength, both release and readiness. A faint chant begins to rise from the tents, soft and steady, flowing like a river over the plains. Its vibration enters the chest, the mind, the spaces between thought and sensation. Even as the bow is drawn, the chant flows through the tension, turning it into a bridge between fear and faith. The sacred harmony of sound, breath, and presence settles into the warrior's bones, a quiet assurance that strength and calm are inseparable. The sun climbs slowly, touching the edges of his armor with warm light. Shadows stretch long and soft across the ground, merging with the gentle folds of earth and grass. Arjuna's gaze meets the horizon, steady, patient, open. You feel how focus and surrender create a quiet space in which clarity can arise. Even amid the possibility of action, the mind can remain a still pool, reflecting both the self and the world without disturbance. An eagle circles above, wings wide, moving with grace through the currents of air. It is a silent teacher, a mirror of attention without attachment. Arjuna watches briefly, and his heart mirrors the freedom of the bird, aware, calm, poised. The bow in his hand is no longer a mere weapon. It is a conduit for mindfulness, a gentle extension of inner calm reaching outward. You sense how every muscle, every breath, every thought aligns in a quiet symmetry, creating a field of stillness within action. The river's murmur reaches his ears again, a slow, continuous song of flow. You notice how Arjuna's awareness drifts into its rhythm, how tension softens into acceptance, how the mind learns that the target, the action, and the moment are one. Here, the sacred lesson unfolds. That focus is not force, that surrender is not passivity, that true strength emerges when mind and spirit move together in harmony. Arjuna exhales softly, feeling the calm settle into his chest, into his limbs, into the gentle curve of the bow. The arrow vibrates with quiet potential, alive with presence, yet without urgency. You float alongside him, sensing the invisible currents of energy, the balance of awareness and readiness, the gentle pulse of the sacred practice within the heart. Even in preparation for battle, the mind can rest, poised yet serene. The sky deepens into warmer golds and soft blues. Each leaf, each blade of grass, each distant stone seems to pulse with quiet life. Arjuna's bow, the river, the wind, the distant chants, all merge into a field of awareness that is both external and internal. You feel the lesson, that the world moves in harmony with the inner rhythm when attention flows freely, when surrender and focus coexist. The arrow is released at last, moving smoothly through the air, guided by the bow and by calm intention. Its flight is both action and meditation, both motion and stillness. It arcs gently, unhurried, guided by clarity and trust. You drift alongside the arrow, sensing how focus, patience, and surrender carry it unerringly, as if the currents of mind and cosmos align for a single, silent moment. The arrow reaches its mark softly, quietly, with no loud proclamation. It rests upon its target, a testament not to force, but to the serene alignment of intention and awareness. Arjuna lowers his bow, feeling the tension dissolve into the calm after release. The sacred practice, the mindful preparation, the union of heart, mind, and spirit, all settle into gentle quiet. Evening approaches slowly, brushing the plains with soft gold and amber. The bow rests beside him, the arrow returns to the quiver, and Arjuna's eyes close briefly, taking in the gentle sounds around him. The river's murmur, the wind through leaves, the soft chants that continue their unhurried flow. You drift in this calm, sensing the quiet harmony of focus and surrender, of tension and release, of readiness and peace. Let us drift onward now, carried by the gentle awareness of mind and heart. Let each breath settle like the bow's string, each thought align like the arrow's path, each moment rest in the quiet center of presence. Now rest as the stars begin to twinkle above, as the wind softens, and as the sacred currents of calm and focus carry you gently into night. The sky is painted in soft shades of twilight. Clouds drift lazily across the horizon, and a gentle breeze stirs the tall grasses of the plains. In the distance, the faint outline of tents rises like quiet islands of preparation. You float through this scene, letting your mind soften, noticing the delicate play of light on the earth, the hush of the evening wrapping everything in calm. Soft voices begin to rise from the tents, a gentle murmur that carries across the fields. The words are old, older than memory, older than the rivers themselves. They are Vedic chants, sacred sounds that ripple through the air like wind over water. Each syllable vibrates with quiet energy, soothing, protective, tender. You feel them as a soft hum in the chest, a gentle warmth that spreads through the heart. The warriors listen, some with eyes closed, some with heads bowed, each absorbing the vibration in their own way. The chants move like a flowing river, weaving through the tension in muscles, the quiet anxieties of the mind, the subtle worries that linger even in preparation. Each sound, each pause, each gentle rise and fall of tone forms a protective circle, a cocoon of serenity around every spirit. A soft wind carries the chants toward the trees at the edge of the plains. The leaves rustle in response, as if greeting each note. The branches sway gently, and the air smells faintly of earth, dew, and smoke from the small fires that burn quietly in the distance. You float alongside these sounds, feeling how they travel without hurry, filling every space without pressure, creating a quiet sanctuary in the midst of life's movement. A lone bird lands on a branch, tilting its head as it listens. Its feathers ruffle slightly in the breeze. Even the bird seems touched by the vibrations, as if nature itself bends to the gentle rhythm of sacred sound. The chants are not loud. They do not demand attention. They are soft, persistent, comforting. They move slowly into every corner of the mind, carrying a message of safety, of presence, of calm endurance. You drift closer to the center of the encampment, where the firelight flickers softly on the walls of the tents. Each warrior inhales, absorbing the resonance, letting it settle into the bones and muscles, into the slow beat of the heart. Even in moments of uncertainty, even amidst the preparations for duty, there is a thread of calm that winds through the soul, unbroken and patient. The rhythm of the chants changes slightly, weaving high and low notes together, like the wind moving over hills and valleys. Each tone seems to hug the spaces between thoughts, filling silence with a gentle presence. You notice how the sound bends around worry, softening its edges, how it brushes against the tension of fear and eases it, like warm water against smooth stone. The warrior's eyes close more fully now. You can see their breaths deepen, slow, becoming waves of quiet motion. The hands that hold bows and shields relax, the shoulders release, and even the jaw softens. The chants are teaching without words, guiding without force. The resonance moves inward, carrying with it a sense of protection that is both external and internal.